Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the sexy, the not so sexy, big children, and little. I am the novelist, author, poet, Lamont Anthony Wright, aka Graffiti Bleu. Welcome. Not going to take up too much of your time. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ladies and we're just gonna kick it like that. Today we're talking about Emcees act like they don't know. Emcees act like they don't know. Boom, boom, boom. Do you remember that KRS-One joint? Emcees act like they don't know. We're gonna get to a couple things just for the preview. It's not necessarily MCs the only one acting like they don't know, but when I say MCs act like they don't know, you have a lot of guys and women, men and women, women and men on the blog having a voice, having a podcast or some blog or dishing out some sort of content, acting like a lot of the world's ails is some big mystery on how we could fucking solve it. And it's driving me crazy because it's not that they don't mean well. It's really not that they don't mean well. But I find a lot of these people may be ignoring the elephant in the room. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it is just cap and propaganda. People be knowing damn well what the freaking problem is and either afraid to just say what the problem is or for ratings or for views or for likes. They want to just try to front, especially the news does this. They really want to front and be like, man, what is this problem? Tune in at 8:00 so we can figure it out together. Like, come on, son. But before we get to all of that stuff, we're gonna finish the preview by saying I'm gonna touch on politics. Just touch on it. I have no party affiliation. I've got no skin in the game. We're going to talk about the music industry, and we're going to talk about relationships between women and men. Right? But first, let me update you on a few things. Just got back from Atlanta. Free tsunami surf, free the wave. Free Sue Surf. The game needs you. The battle rap game needs you. I will show my support. Just got back from Atlanta last weekend. Filmed 2 videos from the Champagne Ethos album made by Moet, M-O-E-T, Men of Extraordinary Talent, DJ LMV and myself, Graffiti Bleu. Have you heard the album? Have you streamed the album? Have you heard a couple cuts? If you rock with this channel, let's assume that you were at least mildly curious. Did you like the album? Did you listen to it from intro to outro? Did you drive with the album? That's when you really get to digest an album. Even if it's not me, my way that I love to digest an album is to take a road trip with the album. And that's when you really get to dial in with it and all of that stuff. So I just got back, did 2 videos out there. Shout out to Wayne Shot It, man, it was good. Shout out to Sassy, the publicist. Shout out to DJ LMV. Shout out to Vaughn. Shout out to the models that came out for the video shoot. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Tina. Shout out to Amber, the stylist. Shout out to it was on and popping. Is that a piece of lint in my head right there? Boy, I tell you, boy, you will be spotless until the camera comes on, and then some sort of lint stain, something just to be perfect for the cam is a challenge. But I accept that challenge. Anyway, right back to it. Stream that album. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Now let's get to it. MCs act like they don't know, but this is typically a problem of the freaking world. You follow what I'm saying? I'm gonna just give you the three examples that I said at the top. All right. In politics, I was just talking to a good friend of mine, Nikki, right? And Nikki gave me her political affiliation and was just like, I'm a Republican and all of this stuff. And Nikki was really breaking down the nuances of why she liked the Republican Party and all that stuff. And I listened and I listened and I listened. And no matter what side you're on, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, conservative, what all of the different denominations of all of this stuff, to me, the elephant in the room is just like, there is unlimited money being poured into politics. So how could we trust anybody when it seems very obvious to me that the will of the people is not being served because their voices are being muffled by all of this money? You're talking about the 1%. You're talking about billionaires and trillionaires lobbying for this and lobbying for that and lobbying for this. And the American people seem quite complicit in this. We know who's pulling the strings. We know all of this stuff, but nobody is really talking about it. Maybe because all of the media outlets are owned by that same machine. So a lot of people are scared to death that if they really started talking about the truth, that their livelihood would be freaking over. I kind of get how fear rules everything around us. I mean, they said, Wu-Tang said cash rules everything around me. And it's not that that's not true, but it seems like there are too many humans on this planet that really are ruled by fear. Okay, so with none of this being said, I'm just like, how could any side be trusted if at the end of the day, money rules the day? So when you have that much money, it doesn't matter who gets elected. It seems to me that whoever is elected is dealt with by the people with money. We'll just deal with that person and sure, the face on the package, El Presidente, they can make somewhat of a difference if they tried, but they seem like they only really account for who gets the crumbs. Every year, the rich get a little bit richer. They have this percentage of the world's worth, of the world's wealth. Then that next year, regardless of party affiliation, regardless of who runs the House, regardless of who runs the Senate, the rich get richer. Boop. Then we get all angry and we vote for somebody else who's opposite, the exact opposite of the last person who was in there. And regardless if that's a Republican or Democrat, whether it's a young black guy or an old white guy, doesn't freaking matter. That following year, the rich get a little bit richer still. And we're sitting here scratching our heads. What do? It needs to be this, it needs to be that, it needs to be this, and all of that. I'm just like, follow the money. There is a keen idea. You really want to know somebody's intentions? Follow the money. The name of this freaking podcast should have been Follow the Money, but we'll keep it with MCs Act Like They Don't Know. Let's go to the music. Let's talk about the music. The talking heads, the MCs, everybody with podcasts or blogs or whatever, the MCs of the world are saying, man, on this hip hop's 50th anniversary. I don't like the direction that hip hop is going. I don't like the direction. All of these kids are talking about gang banging, shooting, looting, and it seems like there's no filter on everything. We had a girl talking about her booty hole on the freaking record and how she likes to dine on booty hole. You follow what I'm saying? Okay. Now, dining on that type of thing is no new thing, but making a recording about it is. And do people really need this record to be recorded? Did we really need that? Did the hip hop, the hip hop collective of hip hop consumers who love to listen to hip hop music did they ever say, you know what would be cool? A song about booty hole. And I'm pretty sure there were a few people out there like that, but was it really the masses that needed that freaking record? So, and I've said, and I'm on record for talking about this. This is well documented, my feelings about this particular thing. Everybody's just like, where did hip hop go wrong? We need to get back to conscious this and conscious that. First of all, the people don't support it. People, in my humble opinion, can be very sheep-like, and they really want to be told what to like. So a song could be super freaking amazing, but if it's independent, it might get in the playlist, it might not. But if the perception, if the machine is behind it, and the algorithm is okay with it, and the algorithm is always okay with selling you trash that keeps you oppressed, okay, keep listening to murder, murder, kill, kill, trap, 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 murder, murder, kill, kill, trap, 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 sex, 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 booty hole, booty hole, booty hole, booty hole, booty hole. If you listen to this every day, what does that do to your vibration? And people say, oh, the problem is with hip hop. The problem is never with hip hop. Hip hop is a culture, not a genre of music. Rap is a genre of music. And even that is not in jeopardy. It's popular music. Okay. So if I went to any block, anywhere, any Martin Luther Street, Boulevard, Avenue, and anywhere in the United States, and I told you, give me your top 10 MCs, whether it was from the Midwest, down South, New York, East Coast, West Coast, whatever. Canada, let's go to Canada too. And I said, give me your top 10 MCs. I bet you a stack that it won't be 10 gangster rappers. I bet you it won't be 10 freaking females talking about WAP and booty hole. It would be more of it. The MCs would be more representative of that area. You would get some truth of truth. Yeah, you get a gangster or two. Yeah, you get a nasty girl or two, sure. But the rest of the 8 MCs, you're gonna get about 5 backpackers in there, 1 wordsmith, 1 lyrical miracle person. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, one or two of them left the center, and it would be more representative. So, but MCs act like they don't know, because when people are really thinking like, man, everybody's talking about this in hip hop, really? Is everybody really talking about that in hip hop? Or is that type of hip hop or rap music better statement. Is that type of rap music the only one funded? Who's putting the money behind this? Who's throwing $1 million behind a booty hole record? Oh man, people would love this. Who's financing this? We all know, as rich as the Jay-Z's are, the Sean Puffy Combses are, and all those guys, they don't necessarily control the distribution of this art form. Okay, so who's funding it? We know who's funding it. I don't even have to say who's funding it. But those people that are funding it are not in the interest of the people, kind of like politics. Peep game. And that just goes with the malevolence of man. If I could sell you your own waste material and make a profit, I'm gonna do that. That's just good business. Oh man, I could sell these guys shit and they'd buy it. That's just what it is. And podcast after podcast after blog is sitting there really scratching their heads. How can we fix rap music? Really? What did Kendrick Lamar say? He said, people say they miss when people was rapping. If that was the truth, then Killer Mike would go platinum. And last, but certainly not least, let's talk about the so-called man versus woman wars that's all over the internet, where it's just like the feminist movement on the left versus the MGTOW and manosphere movement on the right. Hey, you let the talking heads, you let the Emcees who act like they don't know, you let them tell it, and it's the other guy's problem. You know what I mean? Women are saying the problem is men, men are saying the problem is women. Okay, that can't be true. And that's obvious. It's obvious that people have to make compromises and work together, but that's not really is what's being chanted. You know what I mean? Everybody is basing their content on this real fear response. Nobody wants to get hurt. Oh my goodness, you know what I mean? I'm scared to fall in love, fearful of falling in love and getting hurt again. So let me listen to let me listen to him or let me listen to her about how, and let me obsess about how to not get hurt again. News flash, what you focus on will happen. So if you are terrified, like, man, I don't want to fall down and scrape my knee. I don't want to fall down and scrape my knee. I don't want to fall down and scrape my knee. Guess what? That's the top of your vibration, son. So you're probably going to fall down and scrape your knee because you are obsessing about that. The universe, on our spiritual sidebar, the universe only deals in what is. The universe does not understand don't or no. You focus on you focus on your knee getting scraped or not scraping your knee, probably gonna freaking happen. So you will get obstacles, or you will freaking whatever. You are wrapped in that fear cycle. So rarely do I see something comprehensive where people are really trying to really put both sides of everything. Now, I do appreciate action and reaction, okay? And anytime something gets unbalanced, sort of like romance has, you know what I mean, romance has, you know, when it goes sharply one way. And I remember many ladies telling me years ago, it's a time for women, it's a time for women, it's a time for women, it's a time for women. And I remember listening to this, and I'm like, okay, there seems to be some elements missing in there if we are going to coexist. But I get it. If it's a time for women, it's a time for women. Let me hear the argument. Let me hear what's going on. And it just seemed to be a very one-sided thing. So of course, in recent years, as flash forward 2023 today, the manosphere, the same guys who did not necessarily have a voice in romantic circles, the manosphere is screaming super loud. You know what I mean? And everybody just like, oh, the manosphere hates women, it's misogynistic, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. I'm not saying that everyone with a platform that is pro-manosphere is not freaking being unfair to women. I'm not saying that every platform that promotes men's issues is not a healthy, refreshing take, well-balanced take on the issues of men and how that relates to the issues of women. Okay. However, it should not, our response should not be sponsored by fear. I love the panels that they have very well-spoken men and very well-spoken women, or a woman that is comprehensively talking about both sides, or a well-versed dude, well-spoken, that can articulate his ideas into a well-rounded, comprehensive thing that covers both sides, addressing the issues of men and women together. We act like love is not the answer. We act like we don't know. We act like compromise isn't the answer. There is a ton of delusion everywhere. I don't think there's really one side to freaking blame. I really believe it is us. We don't silence the nonsense. If someone is really talking that good talk that makes us feel good in the short term, or strokes our ego to make us think we're on the right side of an argument that really doesn't make sense in arguing, I think that's what we go for. So basically, I'm turning the mirror on us as usual, because really, it's not only the MCs, the talking heads, that act like they don't know. We be acting like we don't know either. You know, just as in review, what I would like to see is people get mad enough to just get off the Ferris wheel. You know what I mean? We know there's too much money in politics. What would happen if none of us showed up to the polls? Would anything change? We have the power to change. We're not going to stick together and do that. Unfortunately, it would have to be, I don't know what it would take to get us together. I don't know what it would take to get us mad enough to take a stand. But we're very soft right now, and we're not trying to stand up for freaking anything. I'm not trying to, I would love to, I would love to live to see it, but I don't know. Even with artificial intelligence, there's a viral video going around where a robot was doing bicycle tricks like a BMX, like on a BMX on like that half pipe thing. And everybody was just cool with it. And I'm just like, they're filling you with low vibrations. Everything is synthetic. Every song has some kind of auto-tune on it. I'm just like, there are some really natural singers out there. Why does every song on the radio have to have auto-tune? Every song has to have some synthetic voice. Rappers, does every rap song have to have a synthetic voice? Why do you continuously pump this particular vibration in my freaking head? Why? Agenda, maybe? I don't know. But vibration is everything. And this is no freaking conspiracy theory. This is all facts. We're all vibration. This is science. I would say Google it, but you know this. You know this, right? Anyway, MCs act like they don't know, and that's my time. What else am I going to freaking tell you? Let's not leave on a conspiracy low note, though. First of all, I gave up trying to save the world a long time ago because I really realized that I don't think that the world is actually ready to be saved. You ever listen to these people talk sometimes? You ever listen to people talk? Everybody is really, really very comfortable and very complicit with the way things freaking are. As long as you don't touch their little piece of the earth or whatever, disturb whatever they got going on, they are very complicit with no matter what's going on. Doesn't matter who's president. Doesn't matter what kind of charges they face. Doesn't matter what, somebody's going to freaking vote for them. It doesn't freaking matter. So I gave up on trying to save the world a long time ago because I am of the belief, not morbidly, but I am of the belief that the world just doesn't want to be saved. And I'm okay with that. But you can actually save yourself. You can actually save yourself. You don't have to participate in any of this stuff. It's very obvious what they're trying to do. It is very freaking obvious. They want us gone. They want to replace us with robots, whatever. I figure the population, if it's at a certain number, we're easier to control, where, as long as we are fat and sick off of this processed food, you keep pumping this low vibration garbage in our freaking ears, activating whatever freaking remnant cancer cells y'all got running around in us. You know what I mean? We're freaking easy to control. By the time we figure it out, it's time to die. If I'm saying, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. They want to start life. They want to start renting condos out on the moon as if there isn't plenty of space in middle America. Have you ever drove through the country? I've driven across country from East Coast to West Coast about 7 times in my lifetime, and there's really nothing out there. Have you ever driven through Kansas, through Utah, through Idaho, Wyoming? There's nothing out there, but we need more space? Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Sure. Okay, whatever. Anyway, that's my time. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, gbleu.com. Do you have a topic you want me to discuss? You can send that you can email me at info@gbleu.com. That would be dope. Whatever. I will give, as you notice, the basis of all my beliefs are of a spiritual nature. This is Just My Thoughts, the podcast. I just give you my thoughts as they come. I don't profess to be right in every subject or whatever. The goal of this podcast is A, a platform for me to express myself, B, to spark the conversation. I may not start the revolution, but perhaps I will spark the mind of the